Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I appreciate your patience. We are continuing our Vice line, and we are now, of course, at the one that a lot of people have been asking for. This is the Vice Pro, brand new for the 2024 season. Let's dive right in. All right, so we are on a great path so far with Vice. The Vice Drive made small improvements. The Vice Tour was out of this world. The Vice Pro Air was out of this world. And we are, of course, now continuing with the fourth model in that lineup out of 5 total, which, of course, is the Vice Pro. Now, a lot of you have been asking me over the last few days, I've seen in the comments about which one's going to be better, the Vice Pro Air or the Vice Pro, which one's going to be for each type of game. So at the conclusion of this review, I will dive a little deeper into that. I'll give a really good analysis about which golf ball will be for which person and things like that. But for now, let's go ahead and just focus on the Vice Pro, which of course is one of the best golf balls on the market for a variety of reasons. One, it performs really well. Two, it has an amazing price point. It has ease of access. It has incredible designs, as you can see right here. Let me see if I can get that. Boom, look at that. The nice drip model, of course. That's one of the signatures from Vice. Looks really cool, looks clean. I mean, it's just unique. You don't see a lot of golf balls having this type of style. Even as I'm doing this one right now, they just came out with a brand new, I think it's the Pro Plus, but it's the new Valhalla edition for the PGA Tour that's going on. Looks really cool. It's just unique. That's what Vice does. So let's dive into the Pro here. Let's go ahead and start with the design of the golf ball. It has the drip. It looks good. The Pro comes in a bunch of different designs, which is awesome. I love what Vice does there. I originally had kind of harped on the alignment tool on the side in the past, but I have now been made aware by one of my followers, thank you so much, that you can actually customize these options. So I do wish it came standard. I wish they had a standard option, but the fact that you can go in and customize and do different alignment tools, that's really cool. It's another thing that makes Vice great. You can really personalize it how you want. You can choose exactly what you are looking for, which is really something that in 2024, I would think that's what golf ball buying should be. You know, being able to customize, personalize. What type of alignment tool do you want? Everyone's different. Everyone's got different quirks. Some people are really weird about it. Some people are, maybe a little over the top about it. But having those options is a really good thing. So I have to give Vice really good credit across the board with, the Tour, the Drive, the Pro Plus, all of them have really neat designs and offer a variety depending on what type of golfer you are. So love to see that. Now, one thing I do notice about the Vice Pro that is different from the other models is how sticky it feels. So the other models, they're all, the Pro Air, the Pro, and the Pro Plus are all going to come with a urethane coating, but this one feels a little stickier than the Pro Plus as well as the Pro Air does. I don't know why, but it just feels like it has some stickiness to it. Like if I was going to throw a fastball or a two-seamer, I could really get some grip on that bad boy, but really more importantly and more relevantly, it feels like if it hits the green, it is going to stick it a little bit better just because of that stickiness. So love to see that. We'll test that for sure. Overall, great design. Love what Vice does. Loves Vice logo. They just continue to knock it out of the park with this. Now, of course, continuing on with the price point, one of the things that make Vice golf balls the best out there is their price point. I touched on it with the Air. It's the same thing here if you didn't see that review. Vice, when they were $35 a dozen, that was an incredible price point. You could then buy them in bulk and get them for like $28, $29 a dozen. That was just like out of this world. But I understand inflation happens. I understand the costs go up. I understand they have to do, I get it. So the cost has gone up a little bit. It's now $39.99 for 1 dozen, which is an okay price. It's good. It's not great, but it's good. It's better than average for sure, but it's not eye-popping like it used to be. But really where that value comes in is buying in bulk. As you can see there, $33 a dozen if you buy 5 boxes. So if you play this golf ball and become a fan of this golf ball, which is really easy to do, trust me, and you decide to be a Vice loyalist, you can order those for the season and get them for $33 a dozen, and that's really one of the best values in the industry. A 3-piece urethane golf ball that's top of the line, that, as far as I'm concerned, from a company that's the best at direct-to-consumer, you just can't beat it. Incredible. Incredible amount of spin. I put so much on that golf ball. Wow. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh my goodness, beautiful. It's what I like to see. It's what I like to feel. A little different. Wow, just dead stop, dead stop. Okay, not bad. Really good amount of spin there though. Let's do one more here, try to get it Goldilocks. Nope, just gonna stop on me. Wow. Wow. Again, we're gonna use the putting motion. I couldn't really get it there with the putting motion. Wow, just, I mean, it's just stopping on a dime, guys. Okay, I'm starting to get the feel here. Got to put a little more on it. All right, very nice. First putt impressions, feel. Wow. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, one more here. Put a little too much on that one. Okay, mallet or blade putter now. Okay, a little heavy, but not bad though. Really good roll. Let's see. There we go. A little bit better hit. I need to aim more right apparently. Wow. Okay, so the Vice Pro. Wow. Really hard not to be impressed here. So the first thing I noticed is I love the feel of it with the wedges around the green. You know, again, medium, a little bit of firm press, a little bit of click for feedback. Feels really good. Feels like a tour golf ball. Feels like just any of these other tour golf balls you're going to see on the high AAA market. Love that. But where I was just really blown away, as I mentioned it earlier, but when I felt it initially, just kind of getting ready to put the balls down, it felt kind of sticky. It felt a little stickier than the Air, and definitely more than the Drive and the Tour. It just feels like it's going to stick a green, and you could tell by those chips. I mean, this has an insane amount of spin, way more than the older Vice lines had, way better feel than the old Vice lines had. This is really exciting to hit this golf ball. And again, you could kind of tell when I was hitting a second ago, I was having issues. It was stopping so soon, and then I have to put more on it, and I'd hit one and think, oh God, that's way too much, and then it would stop right next to the hole. That's an insane amount of spin. Love to see that. Switching over to the putter, buttery and smooth with the mallet, really good. Feels like a tour golf ball. Love that. And then even when I switched over to the blade I don't think felt quite as good, but it's still an 8 or a 9 out of 10. Again, you felt that firm press, you felt that feedback, you heard the click when it was hit right in the center, which is really good. Great roll, great forgiveness on the rolls, true roll. It's hard not to be impressed. This golf ball does everything around the green. I mean, I've been impressed with all the Vice lines so far, but the Pro, I'm like, hey, this is the real deal. Like if you're someone who's playing high-end tour balls and you have, you know, that swing speed that's not super high, but in that medium high, boy, saving a lot of money with Vice would be a good option right about now. Hopefully the numbers translate to that as well. So let's go test those numbers and let's see how they did. All right, so excellent to see there around the green. Love that. Let's dive in real quick to the feel of the golf ball off of the clubs, you know, as far as your wedges, your irons, your woods, all that good stuff. It feels firmer than the Pro Air for sure. The Pro Air is designed to feel very squishy, very soft, not a lot of feedback, although there was enough feedback for sure. This one does feel like more of a golf tour level feel. It does offer that feedback, it does offer the click, but it is slight. It's not like the Pro Plus. It's not super firm. It's a really great feeling golf ball. It does kind of remind me of the old Pro. They didn't really change a lot as far as the feel, but they did a little tuning here and there, and it feels phenomenal. I really love it a lot. Now, a lot of you have been asking me about forgiveness, rating it on a scale of 1 to 5, things like that. I will talk about the forgiveness for sure. The forgiveness on this golf ball is not going to be as good as the Air for sure, and that's because of that compression. With the Air being softer, it was forgiving me so much more on mishits. You know, a mishit with the Air might be, you know, a 5-yard loss. This one I was seeing 10 to 15 yards sometimes, but that's how it goes with tour golf balls. The firmer you get, yes, you have the potential for more ball speed, you have the potential for more, you know, spin and more, you know, workability, all that good stuff, but that extra room you have for the highs is also extra room for the lows. So I didn't experience very good, I'd say like a 2.5, 3 out of 5 for forgiveness with this golf ball. It's just not, but it's a Pro. It's meant for the more advanced players. But again, I'll touch on that more in the moment when I give you these numbers. Let's start with the 50-yard pitch. We're just doing backspin here. 8,467, and that is really, really good to see because that is the best I've tested so far. That's the good news. The bad news is that, again, touching on forgiveness, it was pretty bad. So I had to delete a lot of mishits here because usually the way I do it is I'll hit 10 shots, any miss hits I'll try to eliminate if they're really bad miss hits, just because, you know, if they're a slight miss hit, I keep them on there for forgiveness, and so it evens out. But if they're just an egregious miss hit, I will delete them. But what I was finding is that if you hit the ball solidly in the center with the wedge, it's like 8,500. It's really, really good. It's going to not only stop, it's going to come back at you 100%. It's going to come back a couple feet, which is awesome. The bad part of that is that if you mishit the golf ball and you get a little bladey with it, it's like 5,000 RPM. It's 4,000, 5,000 RPM, which is really, really low. So your shot that you're lining up to do a 50-yard pitch, yeah, you might hit it and it might land next to the hole and come back at you, but if you mishit it a little bit, it might hit to the hole and roll to the back. I mean, there's not a lot of in between there. There's not a lot of, oh, well, what about a 7,000 or 6,500? Nope, it was either 4,000 or 5,000, or it was 8,500, and that's the in-between. So really good if you can compress the golf ball, really good if you're a great iron striker, but if you're someone who occasionally blades a chip, which most of you have, don't lie, it can be a little rough sometimes. Getting into the 9-iron, 7,344, which again, really good spin numbers. That's the most spins so far with the new launch monitor I've gotten from any golf ball. Love to see that. The ball speed, 99 miles per hour, which was barely above the Vice Tour, but slightly below the Vice Air. It continues to be in that line, which is really phenomenal. Compressing it with the short irons is awesome. The distance is great, not as great as the Tour, not as great as the Air. And then it launched at 25.5, which actually, you know, is pretty mid. I know that's a slightly higher than my average, but I've had to switch the grip up lately because I was told by a professional I had too strong of a grip, so I kind of had to loosen it a little. So I expect my ball flight to slightly kind of go up a little bit. So kind of like a mid-launch, really good. The numbers are still phenomenal, but I'll tell you what actually hurt these numbers and made them, maybe it's what cost them being higher than the Vice Air, is, again, that forgiveness. Forgiveness was really egregious. 125 carry distance with a solid strike, 110 without it. It's like a 15-yard difference. That's huge. That's the difference between being right next to the hole and tapping in for birdie and pitching into the green 15 yards back. It's really tough, so really bad forgiveness there. But again, it still averaged out to be really, really good, so I'm glad. Getting into the 7-iron, we have 6,057, which is not the highest amount of spin I've recorded so far, but it is second. So again, really good spin there. 112.7, which is slightly lower than I got with both the Tour as well as the Air, but it's still pretty good. And again, what came with that was the forgiveness was not that great. So I'll touch on more of that in just a second. 155.7, 154.7, great numbers. Again, launched mid, which is awesome. Love to see that. Mid to high, somewhere in there. Now, touching on the forgiveness again, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but that's really what hurt the ball speed, because there were some hits that were 116, 117 ball speed mile per hour, but boy, you mishit it and it's 105, 106. And me personally, I don't like having that big of a spectrum. I don't like my solid hits to be 115, 116, and my mishits to be 105, because then, again, you don't have that forgiveness. Advanced players who are striking the ball extremely well will not notice that, you know, because a mishit to them is, oh, I hit it slightly 1 inch off of the... whatever. To me, it's off the toe, and off the toe will absolutely kill this golf ball. So really good numbers despite the forgiveness being so bad. But again, it's going to be for an advanced player. Getting into the 5 hybrid, spin number, really, really, really good. The highest I've tested so far with the new launch monitor, 5,698. That's going to be able to spin on the green and stick it really well. 124, which is excellent ball speed. 178.1, 176.8, 17.5. It launched slightly high with the hybrid, but I don't hate that. I like my hybrid getting up. And with that spin, too, it's nice to actually be able to stick a green for once. I don't get that a lot of the time with the hybrid. A lot of the time it'll either want to launch low or to launch, you know, with no spin. Not the case here. Actually, I really like those hybrid numbers a lot. That's good to see. Getting in last but not least, we have, of course, the driver. Sometimes this can make or break. 2,442 on your spin, which is around just slightly higher than my average right now. 232.7, which is really good. 139.3, which is slightly, basically at average. Again, that's because of the forgiveness. And once again, 225.4, 16.5. It actually wanted to launch high. I had trouble getting the ball not to launch high, which again, I don't hate. That's one of my big issues issues is lately I've been driving the ball way too low. I'm just not getting it up in the air enough, and it's not getting enough. I mean, it's getting plenty of roll, but it's just not getting that carry distance I need, so I'm glad the ball does launch a little higher. Yeah, so really what I get from all these numbers aren't as good as the Vice Tour. These numbers aren't as good as the Vice Air. Now, they're still phenomenal, but they're just not that perfect 10 out of 10 that those other Vice golf balls were. And really all of that stems, not to beat a dead horse, but from the forgiveness. The forgiveness on this golf ball was a lot worse than the other ones just because it is a pro model. It's meant for advanced players, and that showed here. So even though the numbers were slightly lower, if the forgiveness had been better, it probably would be better than them, to be honest with you. But unfortunately, that's something I have to calculate in. So real quick before I give you my closing thoughts, we will touch on the durability, which, again, not surprisingly, Vice has been pretty much a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10 across the board on these golf balls. There's not much here. You can see a couple of little tiny scuffs if you look hard enough, but it doesn't feel bad. It's still going to roll really good. This is after about 70 to 80 shots. Love to see that. It's definitely going to last you a round and a half, maybe even 2 if you don't hit any trees or sidewalks or anything like that. But also what I really love is the drip helps hide imperfections. So with a pure white golf ball, a lot of the time you'll see, you know, there's a dirt spot or a mild scuff or a cut. But with this golf ball, it actually kind of hides them a little bit. So really it just comes on feel. So really phenomenal there. You know, 9 out of 10, maybe even a 10 out of 10. But I've been a little harsh on I've been a little strict on my durability testing lately, but yeah, no, really excellent. Love to see that. Doesn't surprise me. That's what all the other Vice golf balls have done as well. All right, so final thoughts. You know, again, I'm not as excited as I was before because at this point it's just becoming common. It's becoming common that the new Vice line is the real deal. The Vice Tour, top 3 at the time, top 4 at the time. The Vice Pro Air, top 5. You know, I mean, now this golf ball is going to come in at number 6. There's no other place these golf balls can be. You know, Vice continues to do everything right. Amazing designs, amazing price points, variety of options for different golfers, ease of access. Go to your local Walmart, go to your local Target, order them online, order them in bulk, get a discount. However it's most convenient for you, the buyer, Vice seems to understand. They understand how to control the direct-to-consumer market. They get it. They come out with the new line. They waited 5 years to do so. They say, hey, guess what? You're going to unlock new ball speeds. And I said, yeah, sure, buddy. Okay. Yeah, I haven't been told that by every single, you guys can't see this, but all these golf balls over here, hundreds of thousands of them, all of them on the back say, oh, increased ball speed, and your friends are going to, you're out drive your friends, and you can make jokes about your manhood size to them because you're out driving them, and yada, yada, yada. It's all BS. It's bumkiss. But Vice did not lie. Vice said, you're going to unlock new ball speeds. And I have. I've broke records. Every one of these golf balls breaks records with ball speeds. It feels, they took what was great about their golf balls, they made these little adjustments here and there, and made them darn near perfect. Now, I do want to talk about the questions I've been getting from everybody. What do I need to play, the Vice Air or the Vice Pro? Well, first of all, they're both phenomenal golf balls. They're both phenomenal. They both do exactly what they're intended to do. They both go really far. They both have a ton of spin. It's all great. Really what it comes down to is I think the Pro is going to be specifically for advanced players. I think you have to be someone who strikes the iron extremely well and extremely consistently. And this is where you have to kind of be honest with yourself as a golfer. If you're someone who's like, well, I do that pretty good most of the time. I'd say, 6 out of 10 are pure. That's not enough. I mean, I need 8 or 9 out of 10 to be pure. Because here's what happens time and time again. I see this at work. I see this at the golf courses. Guys will play a pro model thinking they're good enough, and it will cost them a few strokes because guy A is playing the Vice Pro Air, guy B is playing the Vice Pro. The Air gets mishit, it's still on the green, and the guy 2-putts to a par. The Vice Pro is short of the green, he duffs the chip, it goes across the green, it cost him 2 or 3 strokes. So really that's where it goes down to. If you're a pro, play the Pro. But if you're still just a weekend warrior and you're still trying to improve your game like 99% of us are, the Air is going to be the way to go. It's so much more forgiving. Guys, as always, keep watching and keep saving and keep learning. The Pro Plus is next.